Akhilesh, nice to see you virtually. Okay, it's time for my talk. Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to my talk, graciously hosted by Pakistan Dreaming. On this talk, I will be talking about how Nostradamus helped me find my perfect job. Now, what does a dead French person have to do with my career, you ask? Well, I'm going to tell you, so stick around in here. Before we get started, I'd like to say very big thank you to all our sponsors for Pakistan Dreaming, or to PDF Butler, Media Monks, and Gridmate. And events like this would not have been possible without sponsors like them. So I'm really grateful that they're able to allow things like this to happen, the Ohana to grow and to flourish with all the talent that we have here. Right. So this is the important bit. Let's have a go at putting out a raffle. So if you go onto this link, or you use a QR code, go onto this link, put in your name, and at the end of the talk, I will run this raffle thing. It will randomize your names and I'll pick a winner and hope that one of you are a winner. So go ahead and do that. I will leave the link there. Hopefully anyone who joins will still be able to see that that link. If I remember at the middle of my talk, I will post it out again. So hopefully everyone gets an opportunity to enter the raffle. So who am I? First of all, I'm a mom. I write a lot. I discovered that that's what I do. I love drawing. I love doodling. Hopefully, if you're connected to me or you follow me on LinkedIn, you will see some of my stick figures that's not very sophisticated to draw. I observe human behavior. I listen. I'm a teacher. I'm a coach. And in my part-time, I'm also a long-standing consultant, project manager, and I am a human at the bottom of it. And I thought it wouldn't be complete without a little quote from me, where it's not yelling, as I tell my kids, it's motivational speaking at an assertive volume. So hopefully the parents out there can identify with what I'm saying. And one other thing that I haven't mentioned is I'm also slightly more fun than my kids would like me to be. I think they'd like me to be a little bit more sane and normal. So as you notice, I'm using this thing called Mentimeter. So you can see the little logo here. I love using that because it allows me to interact with the people I'm talking to. And with all of you virtually around the world, it makes it a lot more fun. You can engage with me. That's more than just within the chat. So hopefully you've got a browser tab that's launched, or you can use your phone as well. It works both ways. I'm just going to click here. You can have a look at, you can either use the QR code here, or you can go to menti.com and enter this code here. So hopefully everyone's able to do that. For some reason, my URL is not above. So I'm hoping that everyone can access that. Hi, Joey. So if you can do that, my very next slide is actually a question. And I'm hoping that, oh, there you go. Here's the link. Let me copy that link. Oh, thank you, Joey. Yes, put that link down there. And just answer this for me. Did you know what you wanted to do when you wanted to be when you grew up? Ooh, one of all of them. Any more responses? Kinda. Right? Anyone else? We have 14 people in the room. You have one person who absolutely knew what you wanted to be. So the person who's the Joey who said absolutely, it'd be great to know if you ended up becoming what you wanted to be. But on a whole, unless you are a child who is very, very clear on what you wanted, if you're anything like me, it was changing all the time. So let me just share with you a little bit of what's happening. Um, the, the thing was, I didn't really know either what I wanted to be. But when I look back, I can see that my journey began with this dead dude named Nostradamus. When I was about 10 or 11, quite young, a friend handed me a book that was the prophecies of Nostradamus. And I thought, ooh, this person was really interesting. I read about it. It was an abridged book, so it was simplified. And basically, it's this French astrologer who lived many years ago, and somehow he was able to see the future. Or so I think, because he wrote a lot of prophecies that were in the format of what's called quatrains, which is like a 4-line poem that didn't, well, it wasn't in English, so I didn't know whether it rhymed or not, but they were vague and you could interpret them in different ways. So in theory, if you read them in a specific way, apparently he prophesied World War II, how Hitler died, how the kings, one of the king died when he got stabbed in the eye with a jousting. It was a long time ago. Those jousting sticks that they carry on the horse, and they would joust. Anyway, he had seemed to have quite a high hit rate. He also seemed to prophesy World War III and the end of the world, and there was fire and brimstone, and after World War II there would be lots and lots of suffering in the world. Antichrist would come up, and it would be horrible for anyone who lived here. So what was I going to do? I was at a tender age of 10, 11, 12, that sort of age. And I thought, oh my God, I don't want to be on the planet when horrible things happen. So I'm a Trekkie. Any one of you who are Trekkies will instantly be my best friend. So I thought what would happen would be, by the time I became an adult, there would be a spaceship that would go out into the universe and populate other planets or so. And I wondered to myself, how do I get myself onto the spaceship? In my very young mind, I thought, okay, you had to be royalty, or you had to be really, really rich to buy a slot on that plane, or you could fly the plane or the ship. And so I decided that I would take up aeronautical engineering. And my dad said, so I'm from Malaysia. My dad said, that's okay. We can send you and do this degree. But what if you come back to Malaysia and nothing happened and the end of the world didn't happen? I don't think Malaysia would have enough funds for a space program. Why don't you think about something more generic? And I thought, okay. I could help build the spaceship. I could be one of the engineers on the spaceship. So, Dad, can I do electronic engineering, please? Because I really like physics. And then Dad came back and said, do you want to try computer science? Because that's cheaper. And I said, okay, I will program the robots that inhabits this spaceship, and they would have to take me on because you couldn't do without a robotics engineer, I thought. And so I did a computer science degree. I found out I was really, really awful at programming, really bad. I just didn't have the brain for it. So what happened? So let me tell you what happened then. I did get a comp science degree, but I found out that I was a little bit better at talking to people. And so after I graduated mid-90s, I joined Microsoft Partners, and I did everything. I was a Microsoft Office trainer. I was a systems engineer, network engineer. I configured the Microsoft Mail server, then the Exchange server, and then proxy server, and all of those things. And for a big part of my career, as you can see in the orange bars, I worked with Microsoft Partners with a short stint to do my MBA in the early 2000s, and then a short stint with a Remedy partner implementing contact centers and help desk and ticketing and things like that. And then I became a DBA around about mid 2000s. And then Microsoft CRM came out, and I joined a partner that implemented a lot of CRM projects. So that was around 2005, 2006. Did a lot of those projects. And then finally, I got a contract with an end user implementing and integrating a lot of back office systems into Microsoft CRM for the local council. And at that time, I thought, okay, I think I've done everything in the Microsoft CRM consulting space. What should I do next? And then a friend of mine said, you should come over to this side. Salesforce. It's really sexy. And I thought, what? Nothing's bigger than Microsoft. Holy moly, was I wrong? So I joined Salesforce in around 2014, where I stayed with a few different partners. And around about 2020, in the middle of COVID, I launched ZenHub properly to do training, coaching for implementing CRM projects, doing discoveries, project management, those sort of things. So that's kind of where a really big highlight. But let me tell you a little bit more about what that looks like in terms of the projects that I've run. So the first part of it was initially as a client-facing consultant, so front-facing, all roles within the project, which is a BA, the tester, the trainer, was lead QA, and then the final half was as a project manager. And also the last 10 odd years, I was also a volunteer for a helpline in the UK called Samaritans that support callers who have emotional distress. And that helped me to hone my active listening skills that exponentially improved me and my relationships at work. So what do I do now? I do lots of things. I'm currently building my business, but as you can see, there's quite a lot of things that I do there: writing, coaching, doodling, drawing, connecting, mentoring, learning, teaching. But basically what that means, all my favorite things, especially in the Salesforce universe, I would say right now I've crafted my perfect job. So very quickly, those of you who are on Menti, can you just let me know what the top two qualities are required for crafting your perfect job? So very quickly, let me just put the link down here for those of you who might have come a bit late. So if you click on that link, that will take you to menti.com. That allows you to participate. It's a bit like Kahoot. If you use Kahoot, that allows you to respond to questions, and then I can see your responses here. It's a lot more fun than just listening to me talking. I don't think I would like to listen to me talking. My children have told me that they, don't like listening to me talking for very long. So anyway, that's how it came about. Right, let's just very quickly answer this question. What do you think are the two key qualities to craft that perfect job? Have a go. What do you think those two key qualities might be? Ten more seconds. No one picked the heart of the lion. And that's basically courage. But I'm not saying that any of those other things aren't wrong. When you have a billion sales for cert, well, there's no billion, but there's a lot of sales for certs. The more certs that you have, it does make you more attractive. Doesn't mean that you will get that perfect job, just so to speak. If you have lots of money and connections, helps you get any job, but is it a perfect job for you? Don't know. Charisma always helps, like me. When you're charming, people tend to respond much better to someone who's able to attract an audience. Emotional intelligence, well done. A lot of you got that right. I would say also the thing that people forget is courage. So let me very quickly state this. First of all, it is self-awareness. It's understanding who you are. And I tell my kids as well, this is the number one quality you need to have. Because if you're not aware of who you are, you will never know what makes you happy. You will never understand what triggers you, what creates joy, what annoys you, what brings excitement to your life, why a specific person has chemistry with you. So self-awareness is really, really important. And then secondly, it is courage. Now, let me flip this around and say it's not just courage, it's the ability to feel scared about something, feel the fear of something you've never done before, and doing it anyway. Because without trying new things, without going for the unknown, you will never know where the edges of the person you are. You will never push yourself and understand the nuances of why you are the way you are and why you react the way that you do and what to do about it. So to me, I feel that these two qualities actually is right up there in terms of just forging the path that is best for you. So another really quick question is, do you think it's possible for you to do what you love and get paid crap loads of money for it? So very quickly, I'm seeing a lot of yeses. Any no's? Think about you yourself as a person. Right now, I'm asking my kids that question, and I know they want to, but I don't know whether they are quite there yet. So I see a couple of no's. So there's a few of you who think that you personally can't do what you love and get paid a lot of money for it. Let's delve into this. Right? So when I think about my kids, what they would like to do is to get paid a lot of money for playing games and annoy their little sister. But I love Venn diagrams. I think a couple of you might do as well. Here you go. If you have something that you love and that you want it to pay well, for a lot of people, that's a dream. In the same way that for a lot of kids nowadays, like my kids' friends, when I ask them, they all want to be the Fortnite champion, the gaming, the EA Sports champion, get paid a lot of money to sit down and play games. For a lot of people, that's a dream. If you're doing what you love and you're really good at that, and it's kind of just a hobby, because if it doesn't pay well, if it doesn't pay you and you can't make a living, then it's not quite there yet. If you're good at something and that pays you well, yep, that could be a that could make a good living, but is it still the perfect job for you? And the reason I say that is because there's a lot of people that you hear who have had a meltdown, even though you see that they're really successful, they get paid lots of money, they're good looking. I mean, just listen to what's on the news, the celebrities, those who have chosen to end their career, end their life early when they seem to be so successful. What's going on there? So from my point of view, a perfect job for you, whoever that is something that marries all of this together. Doing what you love, doing what you're good at, and doing what pays well. Now, recently, there's another Venn diagram that adds another layer to it, which is doing something that also serves the world, and they call it ikigai, to find your ikigai. Now, that is slightly controversial because the interpretation from the Japanese meaning has been changed slightly. And also, I think, I'm just separating it for now, because sometimes that may feel like an additional layer of stress and burden that you may not want to, that may feel like it's too much for you. So let's just very quickly get to that. So the secret of a perfect job is really the self-reinforcing positive feedback loop that you get. And that comes being self-aware and trying new things. Okay. So for me, I'm going to plug consulting now because that's a world that I love. And it's something that if you have not gone into it, I'd like to share it with you and hope that you can see why I say for me, it is a really good place to be to start with. Let's start with the first one. Okay, so why would anyone go into consulting? Now, when I'm talking to somebody in the ecosystem or even outside the ecosystem, somebody young, I'd say, think about doing something like this. And the reason for going to consulting is that it is quite high profile. It's something that allows you to do a lot more things than you wouldn't otherwise have thought of. It allows you to become a real expert at something that you like, something that you didn't know you like. And one of the beauties about consulting is just the breadth of experience and the projects that you get. And if you work with a really good partner, you get the opportunity to pick the projects that excite you, be it telecoms, be it retail or pharma or bio-life science, whatever that might be. And remember what I said earlier about trying new things? If you don't get exposed to all these things, you will never know what your magic is. And we all have something. We all have something that is magical, not just to us, but to other people. And I am a firm believer that you only do that when you try. Try lots of things, fail, get up, try other stuff. So that's a nice thing about consulting, is that you're allowed to try a lot of things. Now, obviously, it's a fast-moving industry, and there is another side of it, which is stress and all that side, which is not something we're going to touch on today. I'm focusing on the positive things. But if you're able to manage your time, manage your boundaries, have a lot of support, this is a great place to be and to become an expert at something, whatever that rocks your boat. Allows you to build a network. You get to meet so many people. I have had the opportunity to meet a lot of people in industries that I would never, ever have thought of. As an example, one of my projects was with a not-for-profit in the UK. Any one of you who are in the UK will know that's the one with the red nose. And a lot of celebrity, a lot of politicians, they put their time to help raise money for a very, very worthy cause. And that allowed me to talk and to connect with people that I would never have any idea. I also did a project for a Premier League football club, soccer club. And so while I'm not on first name with any of the footballers, but it led me another level closer to them. I can say, I sat at the same table with, this dude who did a lot of goals and did a lot of naughty things and got into the newspaper. But anyway, it gives you lots of stories to talk about as well. Oh my God, the learning opportunities is just unbelievable. I think that in the consulting area, you are actually moving 3 times as fast as somebody outside. Obviously, there are pros and cons of that, but the amount of learning is just, you have to catch up. You just have to keep on learning and learning and learning, and the growth opportunities is just unbelievable. But like I said, you've got to marry that with boundaries, with learning how to manage your time, and make sure you've got enough support around you, both in a professional space and also in a personal space, in order to make full use of the opportunities that are coming your way. Now, this one is something that maybe, I don't know if people talk about it as much, but the salary and the pay based on performance is something that's obviously above the industry average. And so because a lot is being asked of you, the compensation is also at par generally. So if you compare a consulting role with an end user role, it's a lot higher, and that's what attracts a lot of people into it. There are unique challenges, and I've been in many projects which I'm always told, this is the cutting edge, this is the bleeding edge, we've never done this before, we're going to be the first partner that integrates this with this to do this or thing, and it's going to be magical. And If I show you the scars that I've got, the amount of bleeding edge projects that I've been on have been phenomenal. Not only has it been challenging and mad and crazy, but also incredibly rewarding in so many levels. And if I look back at my path, I don't think I would have had that opportunity anywhere else, to be honest with you. And it leads me to the final bit. Once you have all of this under your belt, after a certain amount of time, I've been in this industry for almost 27, oh my God, 30 years, 3 decades. I feel so old. But because I've been in this industry for so long, I've done so many discoveries, so many projects, such a breadth of different types of work. I understand who I am, what I can offer, and it allows me to craft, like I said, a path for myself. And so that's kind of where I've got to and how I got to this point. And what I wanted to share is just that two things. So let me get to my almost final slide. So I'd like to say that consulting has led me to my perfect job. First of all, because that dead French dude gave me that first kick. Looking back now, I don't think that he was entirely right in predicting the end of the world. Obviously, we still, the century is still only in the first quarter of it, but I don't think he was quite there. But it gave me, if you think that you're going to die soon, you're going to find a way to make full use of your time here. And that's what he gave me. Secondly, the fact that I was very self-aware, and I think my my volunteer activities at Samaritans made me super, super aware of human nature, of my capabilities, my boundaries, my potential, and it just allowed me to just do things and understand that it is not the end if I fail. I just pick myself up and try something else. There is no penalty, no true penalty for making mistakes. There are some for, like, if you were to kind of murder the person who annoyed you at the McDonald's, that would be bad. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about in the professional world, like trying new things. If someone gives you a role that's far beyond your capability, have a real think about whether you want to say no or whether you're just going to go and grab it 2 hands and see where you land. You might fall. Are you going to be able to get up? That's a question. It's all down to being self-aware and understanding who you are, making sure that you've got enough support so that you don't crash too hard, and discovering what really rocked my world and just doing more of that. And so that's kind of what I want to leave you with today, is that if you can, regardless of where you are in your career journey, if you can understand that it's all about knowing who you are and knowing what you're prepared to take, how much you're prepared to fall and get up again. There's a line that some people draw. If you work in an organization that keeps, tipping you down a cliff, then you need to ask yourself whether that's the kind of organization I want to work at. But these two qualities allow you to understand yourself a lot more, what you will accept, what you won't accept, and that will help drive your decisions. That will push you towards your perfect job. So with that, I've got 1 more minute. The next one is the raffle. So hopefully this works. I'm just going to refresh that. And hopefully everyone managed to put in your name in the raffle. Let's hope that you have. If you haven't, I'm just going to give everybody a chance again to, no, that's not the right one. We don't have time, sorry. So I'm just going to start. If you put your name in, let's see if you've got it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Da, 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 da. There you go. Muhammad Umar Azmi, congratulations. You've won $25 gift card. I hope that you have found this a very, very fun talk. And I hope you'll connect with me. Grab the screen. It's easy for me to put this Linktree URL. And if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer right now. Thank all of you for being here. And I'm now going to put my eyes to the chat window and see if there's any question. Thank you, Akhilesh, for agreeing about self-awareness, and Ines as well. Yes, in nature, edges are where the most amazing stuff happens. Totally agree. And Joey, as long as you find someone with boatloads of money that needs what you love doing, absolutely. If you know that person, tell me.